Hey class, Prof JC here, and it's good to be back with you on the podcast. It's been a few weeks. It feels like it's been a long time since we've done this, so it's good to be back. We are in Thanksgiving season, and so today what I thought I would do was look at this idea of purpose, which is what this whole class is about, and how do we mix gratitude and purpose together? How can living a life of gratitude help us to live a life of purpose? So we've got that this week, and then next week you've got Thanksgiving week, and so we'll have the week off. We don't have any work, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up strong in our final 3 weeks. So let's dive in today. Gratitude and purpose are two of the most powerful forces in our lives. But together they form a foundation that can transform the way we experience the world and shape the legacy we leave behind. While gratitude keeps us grounded in the present, purpose propels us towards a meaningful future. When woven together, they create a life that is not just lived, but truly fulfilled. And that's what we want, a life of fulfillment. That's why it's so important that we talk about this idea of purpose. I was just on a call the other day with a corporate group that I was working with, and incredible to me, right? Now, I think with this group, I think the recent elections impacted them, this company, and it's a very large company. It's a Fortune 500. They've gone through layoffs. And so that was impacting the call that we were doing the other day. It was really tough. But to hear people who were in their 30s, 40s, and even one who I'm just guessing here was in early 50s talk about not living a life of purpose, I just thought, man, that's why this class and what we do here is so important. So that any of us, no matter what season we're in life, whether we're brand new to our careers, brand new to the workforce, industry, whatever, or we're changing up our careers and we're transitioning from one career to another, it's important for us to really tackle this issue. I don't want you to be on a call one day and you're talking to someone or you're reflecting alone and you realize that you don't know what your purpose is. You haven't lived that way. I don't want that to happen. So everything that we're talking about, today, gratitude and purpose, it's so that you can live that fulfilled life. Now, before we go on a little bit further, I want to define my own definition of gratitude. Okay. And so here's what I would say. And I want you to think about this, and I want you to accept this definition just for at least this podcast. Okay. Just consider this as a potential definition of what gratitude is. Gratitude is the awareness, acceptance, and appreciation of everything that life has brought to you, is currently bringing to you, and will bring to you in the future. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. Gratitude is the awareness, acceptance, and appreciation of everything that life has brought to you, is bringing to you, and will bring to you. Okay, that's all that gratitude is. So that means all the good things, great. Okay, I'm grateful for those, but also all the negative things that I've been through, great. I'm grateful for those as well. I remember years ago hearing Tony Robbins. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a famous motivational speaker, and he was definitely really big, famous. He was probably one of the first influencers back in the 80s. I don't know if he's the first influencers, but one of the major influencers back in the 80s and 90s, and he's still going to this day. I'll never forget. On Netflix, he had an episode, he had a show that was about him just a few years ago. And in it, he tells a story about his mother and how his mother wasn't a really good mother. But he came to the conclusion, he wasn't necessarily talking about gratitude, but he was talking about accepting all the things that life brings to us and owning them and even appreciating them. And he talked about the fact that, yes, his mother wasn't a great mother, but if his mother was the woman that he wanted her to be, he would not have been the man that he became later on in life. That was a powerful thing. Okay. And if I'm going to be transparent with you, I would say that I grew up in a home where I had parents that were present, but they weren't really, I don't know if they ever figured out their purpose. I don't know if they ever lived fulfilled lives. And so because of that, they couldn't show up in their best way as parents. And that's all I'll say about that. And I love him to this day, and I have a lot of appreciation for him. But I remember hearing Tony Robbins say that, it really informed how I view my own parents, right? I'd had some bitterness and some of my own pain, and maybe some of you can relate to that, in your own life. But I remember hearing him say that, and I realized that I needed to have the same view about my parents. If they were everything that I had wanted them to be, especially as I look back and I say, boy, if they could have done this, I probably wouldn't be the person I am today. And I am incredibly grateful for the current life I have and the things I'm able to do. But a lot of that came because of maybe some of the pain that I had to deal with and some of the disappointments that I've had to overcome and I've had to work through. And so I'm grateful for all of it. And so hopefully all of us can do that. That's what gratitude does. It changes our mindset from just negative, everything's negative. And then it brings it back to no. Everything is working in our favor to help us become the person that we're meant to be, to live what that talked about, a fulfilled life. Okay. So that's my definition of gratitude. I want you to remember that and hang on to it as we kind of talk about this today. Gratitude. So let's just talk first about the power of gratitude. Gratitude is more polite than is more than a polite thank you or an occasional acknowledgement of good fortune. It's a mindset, and everything I just told you, that's what I'm saying. It is a mindset, okay? A mindset of awareness, a mindset of acceptance and appreciation in all things, for all things. It's a mindset, a way of seeing the world through a lens of appreciation and abundance. It's about recognizing the gifts, both big and small, that we often take for granted. The warmth of the sun on our skin, and we feel that a lot here in San Diego. The support of a loved one, or even the lessons learned from a tough experience. These are all things that gratitude allows us to see and to savor. Science has shown us just how powerful gratitude can be. Studies in positive psychology reveal that people who practice gratitude regularly, okay, so it's got to be an intentional, regular, consistent thing, experience stronger relationships, lower stress levels, and higher overall happiness. Gratitude isn't about ignoring challenges. It's about finding the light in the midst of the darkness. It trains our minds to focus on what we have rather than fixating on what we lack. However, gratitude is a choice, and it's not always easy to make. And I'll tell you that. There are times when I wake up and I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and I'm in a pity mood, or I'm in a bad mood, or pitying myself, or whatever it is, and I have to force myself to move into gratitude. Maybe you've been there before as well. It's simple to feel grateful when life is going well, but the real challenge and the real growth comes when we choose gratitude during life's difficulties. That's when gratitude becomes a tool, not just for survival, but for transformation. I'm going to be transparent with you guys about something. We're talking about purpose here. And I remember one of the toughest things I went through in recent years was I went through a divorce. And that was painful. It was difficult. It was not easy to go through at all. And I remember being out on a walk where I used to live. I used to live down in the South Bay in Eastlake, and there's this trail down there that I would take. And it was behind the gates. If any of you are connected to the South Bay, you might know where this is, but I probably put thousands of miles on that trail just with my 2 feet. I spent a lot of time walking on that trail. And I remember when I was going through this really difficult time, and at first I just wanted to blame. I just wanted to blame my ex and blame XY, whatever it was. Just it was somebody else's fault. It wasn't mine. But now at this time, I just started living a life of gratitude. I started this whole gratitude kick that I'm on, and I hopefully will be on the rest of my life. Started it in 2017, and I went through the divorce in 2018. And I remember just trying this out, and I said, I'm going to express gratitude for what I'm going through right now. And it was really tough. And so I started expressing gratitude, and here's what it forced me to do. It forced me to start looking at my responsibility in that divorce, right? There's something so centering and grounding about gratitude that when we're going through great things, it really has kind of gratitude, it always centers us, right? And when I say center, that typically means that we could be way out over here in left field or way out over here in right field. And there's something about gratitude that just brings us back to center. Okay. And so when you're going through something traumatic like a divorce, if you've ever been let go from a job or something like that, it's typical that our minds will take us way out in the right field and left field. And we're blaming everybody and we're looking at all the causes and all the things but when I did that moment there, it helped to bring back, right, what JC's responsibility does. And this is what gratitude does. So if we're in the good moments, and we're starting to think that everything good happening, to us is because of everything that we've done. When we start to express gratitude, it brings us back to center and helps us realize all the things around us that have brought that goodness, whatever that is. But also when we're in the negative moments, right? And we're blaming because we're upset about whatever it is. It brings us back to center and it helps us see what is my responsibility in this. So gratitude, whether we're having gratitude in good moments or gratitude in negative moments, it's always a centering thing that brings us back to the center. So we're able to see it much more clearly, that situation, whatever it is, right? It doesn't let us get too big. Right. In the good moments, we walk away from something that we did extremely well. And we're like, wow, I'm so good. And I'm so this and I'm so. No, when we have gratitude, it brings us back down to earth. But maybe if we're really low, it helps to bring us back up. Right. But all of it helps us see the personal responsibility. It helps us see what other people have done. It brings humility in the middle of whatever it is, a good time or a negative time. I'm speaking too much on it, but I'm so passionate about it because that's what gratitude did for me. To the point where I was able to call my ex. I'll never forget this call that we had. And this was several years ago. And it was a call where I just picked up the phone and I said, I got to be the first one to do this. And I just called and I just said, hey, I'm really sorry for what I brought to the relationship that caused all of this. Okay. Now there are a lot that she had to, but even that gratitude, which led to that call, led to a really great conversation between the two of us that led us to being really great co-parents that I think we are today. And we're raising a really dynamic, beautiful, young girl who's going to tackle the world. But I think it started with that. Okay. And so I would say, even in the hard times that you're going through, if you're able to, especially if you want to live a life of purpose, if you're able to just stop and express gratitude for that thing, it brings a centering impact to you. And you're able to see, well, in this tough thing I'm going through, what was my responsibility in this? And is there something I can do to fix this moving forward? Okay. So I just want us to think from that perspective that gratitude is really important for all of us. Okay. Now I forgot where I'm at on this thing. I'm getting so passionate about this. Gratitude's a choice. It's not always easy to make. It's simple to feel gratitude when life's going well. I think we just talked about that. That's when gratitude, the real challenge, the real growth is when we choose gratitude during life's difficulties. That's what we just talked about. Okay. That's when gratitude becomes a tool, not just for survival, but for transformation. And that's what that was for me in 2018. If I had gone through that and just blame the other person, and there were other things that I faced that, a year after that and a year after that, and if I just blame, life would have not turned out the way that I think it has. And I think there have been some cool things, but I was able to pause and just say, okay, hey, what's my responsibility in all of this? And then that's when the real transformation happens. And that's when we're able to move to the next level, from one level to the next. I want to encourage you to do the same. So let's connect gratitude to purpose. Okay, that's what this class is all about. But gratitude alone isn't enough. To truly live a meaningful life, a fulfilled life, we also need purpose. Purpose is our why, the deeper reason behind what we do. We've talked about that in class a lot. It's the thread that connects our actions to our values and our goals to a greater vision. Gratitude and purpose are deeply interconnected. Gratitude grounds us in the present moment, helping us to see the opportunities we have. Purpose, on the other hand, drives us forward, asking us what we will do with those opportunities. Together, they create a powerful synergy. Gratitude says, look at the gifts you've been given. Purpose responds, now use them to make a difference. Isn't that great? Gratitude says, look at the gifts that you've been given. Okay. Purpose responds, now use them to make a difference. When we approach life with this mindset, even our struggles take on a new meaning. Meaning, instead of viewing setbacks as obstacles, we begin to see them as stepping stones, experiences that shape us, teach us, and prepare us to fulfill our purpose. Okay. And I've already shared a little bit with you about why that's important to me, but I just want to encourage you to do that in your own life. Okay. So here's some practical steps for gratitude and purpose. Gratitude and purpose are not abstract ideas. They are practices we can cultivate every day. And that's the thing. It's almost like this has to be baked in. If you're really going to live a life of gratitude that's going to lead you toward the life of purpose that you want, it almost has to be baked into your every single day existence, right? It's not something you just do when things are great. It's not something you just do when things are not so great. You do it every single day. And again, it just grounds us, right? We talked about the definition. It's the awareness, the acceptance, and the appreciation of everything that has been, everything that currently is, and everything that will be. That's a grounding mindset to have. Okay. So so we need to cultivate these every day. Here are 3 simple ways to integrate these in your life. So number 1 is reflect daily. That's number 1. Take a few minutes each day to write down 3 things that you're grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. Often it's the small, ordinary moments that bring the greatest joy. You know, the other day I'm driving off of campus, the main campus, the Point Loma campus, and it was just beautiful. And if you've ever been over there, you know what I'm talking about. It's just the sun was kind of going down, and I just thought that right there is gorgeous, and I'm grateful for this moment. I was over at Mission Valley even the other day, and I just love Point Loma, so everything about Point Loma is beautiful to me. But was up in the office and kind of looking out on the traffic and the freeway, and the sun was going down. And I was like, this is beautiful. And even sitting in the classroom just working, nobody was in there. And it was beautiful. The other night at the E&E, we just did the E&E the other night, and looking around at all the people who were there. And I just was standing kind of in the back, and I was just, man, you know, so it doesn't have to be these big moments. Oftentimes it's these small moments but we just express gratitude in that care. So that's number 1 is reflect daily. Number 2, clarify your purpose. Okay. That's important for this class. Spend time reflecting on your values, your passions, and the impact you want to make. Ask yourself, what is my why? Okay. We've talked about that in class. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It just needs to be meaningful to you. Okay. So, and again, I try to do this on a regular basis, just keep clarifying what my purpose is every single day, because it's easy in all the emails in life and the busyness. It's easy to get lost and to forget, why am I doing what I'm doing? Well, that's what gratitude helps us to do. Number 3, align your actions. Use gratitude to fuel your journey. When challenges arise, remind yourself of the opportunities within them. When successes come, let gratitude keep you humble and focused. That's the key right there. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. When challenges arise, remind yourself of the opportunities inside them. When successes come, let gratitude keep you humble and focused. And those 2 things go hand in hand together, being humble and focused. And that's what gratitude can do. Again, if I get to the point where I'm just, wow, we had a great executive networking event the other night, and driving home, wow, look how great you are. No. You come back to a mindset of gratitude, and then I start thinking about everybody involved in that to make that happen, right? And you realize, wow, I'm so small and insignificant. Well, I don't necessarily think that, but it just brings humility, right? And then, like it says, focus. Right? It helps to focus us in on the good things, on what other people have done. And then we start thinking forward and not just sitting on our laurels. It's just, gratitude is so powerful. Okay. In conclusion, a life of gratitude and purpose is not a life free of challenges, as you know. It's a life enriched by them. Gratitude gives us the resilience to weather storms, while purpose ensures that we emerge stronger and more focused. Together, they enable us to live not just for ourselves, but for something greater. And that's what this whole class is about. How do we attach our life and our gifts and our passions and our purpose to a larger purpose out there, something greater that we're impacting. It's not just about us. Okay. As I reflect on my own journey right here, okay, I'm reminded that gratitude and purpose are not destinations, but practices. They require daily intention and intentionality, but the rewards are profound. When we live with gratitude, we find joy in the moment. When we live with purpose, we create a legacy that endures, and it goes much further than we ever could. You want to live forever? You want to know how to live forever? Live a life of purpose and leave a legacy that endures. A legacy that endures. Build something that outlasts you. Be a part of something that outlasts you. That's how you live forever. Okay. So I'll leave you with this question. What are you grateful for today? And how will you use that gratitude to live a life of purpose? Now, that is not your questions for today, but that's just a question I want you to think about. What are you grateful for today? And how will you use that gratitude to live a life filled with purpose? So here are your questions for this week based on this video. Okay. What is Prof JC's definition of gratitude? What is Prof JC's? And I gave it to you earlier in the talk. I gave it to you. So what is Prof JC's definition of leadership? Do you agree or disagree? Okay. And why? All right. So that's number one. And then number two, what are the 3 practical steps that we talked about in here? We just went through all 3 of them. What are those 3 steps that you can take every single day with intentionality that will help you to remain on a life of purpose? And then I guess that's your second question. And then your third question is just more reflective. How will you use gratitude to live a life of purpose? Okay. How will you personally use gratitude to live a life of purpose? That's all I got for you this week. Next week is Thanksgiving week. We have no work. I want you to spend it and have as much time as you can with your friends, family, the people you love. And maybe you're an introvert like I am and you just need time away from everybody. I understand that, and I hope you get that as well. Eat lots of good food. Don't stuff yourselves too much. All right. And I'm grateful for you. I want you to know that. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you chose Point Loma. I'm grateful that we have a chance to interact together in this small season of your journey. And hopefully some of what we've talked about has added value to your own journey. Have a wonderful and relaxful Thanksgiving week. And I'll see you on the other side, and we will end our class strong. Take care, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you soon.